What was going on between you and Eminem, if anything?
Nothing. Look, I talked to him. I, have spoken to him a few times, whatever. But in terms of me having like an intimate relationship with men, I can name them all on one hand, and he ain't on the hand. Less than one hand, okay? He is not on the hand.
You can name them all on one hand? I'm not going to ask you.
Less than one hand,
okay, I'm not going to ask you.
Less than one hand.
All on one hand. So what are you doing now to make sure that what happened to you, I completely understand. You all understand? Is everybody clear?
We were talking during the break that it seems like this is all a fun party to be on TV and
I think that I was saying to Mariah, it's really hard, I think, for people to understand it unless you're in it, because when you're looking up on the screen at the videos and the glamour life, you think that that is just the most fun thing in the world. But you know what? She don't wake up looking like this. And I think of this every time I go to a speaking engagement. Somebody will say, "Oh, it's only going to be an hour of your time." Well, it took me 4 hours to get here. I had to get up. I didn't look like this when I got up, as your crew will tell you this morning when I saw. So nobody really gets that it's work.
Right.
It's work. That when you stay in the studio and when you to be consistently 15 singles on the top #1 list, and you're the #1 performing female in the history of the world. That is a very it takes work to do that. It takes work to do that. Okay, so what are you doing now to make sure? You were telling us that you're now putting in, you have to have 6 hours sleep.
I made a contract for people to sign that was very cut and dry. I must be taken care of and treated like a person. It's very basic. You know what I mean?
I have to get lunch.
I have to have lunch breaks, and I have to, have time to sleep. And I talked to a nutritionist who helped me in terms of, because I've always had problems sleeping since I was a little girl, who helped me in terms of like the foods that I can eat that will help me be more able to sleep, you know what I mean, towards the end of the day and stuff like that.
If you don't sleep, you get crazy.
Yeah, you get beyond that. It's not good for your health, physical health.
Right.
You can literally
Everything else
die.
starts to shut down.
Like you said, you can die, and it's a serious
we all know
thing.
what that is.
Well, I don't know if we do, because I didn't realize it before. I didn't know until I was in the situation.
You were young. You were young.
Well, I didn't know, so.
That you have to take care of yourself. That all of life is about balance.
Right.
About balance.
Exactly.
About giving some, taking some away, giving some to other people. So now you've got that. What about setting boundaries for yourself? Can you learn to, have you learned to say no?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Does this happen? Yes. Yes, no. This happened to me in my early years when I first started to become known. I couldn't figure out how to do it because everybody is calling on you, and you feel like everybody who asks, if you say no, they're going to think you're not a nice person.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that was always my thing. Like, I never wanted to disappoint people. Like, I never wanted to let the fans down. I never wanted to do less, promotion than I could, even if that meant 4 countries in one day.
Because you don't want people to say you're getting lazy, or you're taking it for granted, or you're being a whatever.
Yeah, but by doing that, you end up doing the opposite and hurting yourself. So I've learned to set boundaries and say, yes, I can do this amount of, promotion, but I can't. I cannot work like a machine, and it's great now that I have the right support team around me and people that understand and treat artists like human beings,
So tell me, how long was that phase? Because I think people think, a lot of people are seeing you now for the first time really talking.
Right.
So people are, maybe a lot of people think that you just had kind of been shut up in the house writing your songs, and we're still trying to recover. You recovered after a couple of weeks.
It was a couple of weeks, but the press continued
to this story.
Barrage. And then it didn't help that the whole record company thing happened, because they were like, Mariah's troubles. That would be the headline. Meanwhile, I'd be like, yippee, we got out of that situation. Let's move on and figure out what I'm going to do next. Living in the solution, not the problem.
What do you see ahead for yourself now?
I don't know. I take each day as it comes, and I think the main thing is enjoying each day, because each day is not promised to us. We have to really just express ourselves to our loved ones every day and really just, live life and celebrate life.
Well, Mariah's going to sing for us again. That's next. Saving Grace. Beautiful job.